Hey guys, Prairie Islander here. We are going to be doing a little bit of prep for some cooking today. We have got a couple of salmon fillets. We're going to be doing a really simple dry brine, and we're going to let that roll for a couple days before we do some semi-cold smoking in the smoker in a couple days. So what we have here are a couple of last summer salmon fillets. We have a beautiful Coho fillet here, and then we have a small Chinook fillet over here as well. You really can kind of see the difference between the spots on the tail versus the no spots on the Coho. Both are just some beautiful fillets, so we'll have a good look at them, see how things are. So we're going really simple with this recipe here. We're actually just going to be using some coarse pickling sea salt and some Demerara style brown sugar there, and that's really all we're going to be doing. We're going to rub it kind of all over. I've done it gravlax style before with fresh dill, and we really like that quite a bit as well. No fresh dill today, so we're just going to keep it super simple, go this way, kind of really lean into the flavor of the salmon and the smoke that will impart onto the fish there. So we'll get these bad boys prepped up. So we get some pin bones we're going to need removed from both of these fillets here. Luckily, I find little tweezers work absolutely fantastic for getting all those little annoying bones out. All the Chinooks are actually much thinner. That's cool. Didn't know that about them. Alright guys, so now we're going to start mixing up our brine. So we're going to use a 50-50 ratio of our coarse sea salt. It's basically just pickling sea salt. Nice and coarse. A little over something. And now our brown sugar. Right. Just get a little bit just kind of on the ground level things. We're going to go skin side down to start, so I don't want to put too much down, but I do want a nice little base just kind of starting out. There we go. We're going to get him just enough like that. Adding the good stuff in, so we're going to really cover it all up, and then we'll do a bit of a rub-in with a lot of it too. So we got our brine in place there. There we go. And now the key is really just time. We're gonna let this go. We'll go overnight. I'll probably rotate him tomorrow morning. We'll start to get some liquid in the bottom there, which will almost kind of turn into a semi-wet brine. And we'll flip him over. I'll probably rotate him again then tomorrow evening after they've had 24 hours in. And my goal is to get them into the smoker in about a day and a half. So they'll have had about 30 to 36 hours essentially of brining, curing, and then we'll be able to hit the smoke with them. So I think this is going to be ideal. Alright guys, so we are about 36 hours into the brine, and as you can see we have a pretty good amount of liquid that's come out. I didn't drain any out, I just left it in there so I could kind of turn it from a dry brine into a wet brine. But that turned out perfect. That's going to really get a little extra flavor into the salmon, but also, draw just tons of that moisture out of there. We're going to slice these fillets in half, so we got one with the Chinook, one with the Coho, and then they'll be ready for the smoker. That's perfect. Now, another key too, we got to rinse these off first, so I'm going to rinse off all of this wet, so we'll get that done. So we'll get this all dried out really good. We don't want a whole bunch of moisture left on there. Like, just look at that beautiful coloring on there. Like, that is just pretty. Nice, dark, that sugar and the salt just did its work there. Perfect. And there we go. There we go. And we'll have our Chinook on this one. Now we'll rinse off the Coho. Yeah, the Coho. That Coho turned out beautiful as well. Really nice color on it. Couldn't beat that. That's fantastic. And just like that. Now we got our Coho Chinook. They're all brined out. We're just gonna let them air dry for a little bit while the smoker preheats a little bit, and we're just getting the smoking element itself going, and then we'll be ready to rock. Alright guys, so we got the salmon just air drying here. The smoker is heating up, and while we wait for that to heat up there, I got my little hunting buddy here, Theo. Say hi to the camera, Theo. He's a little hungry, so we're gonna get a little feed on while we wait for the smoker to heat up, and we'll be ready to rock. Hey buddy. Alright guys, so we already got a little bit of drying out working on. You can just see how beautiful those fillets look. Really looking nice. So what we're gonna do, we got a bunch of maple briquettes in here in the Bradley smoker, and we're all good to go. Now we're not going to be using the oven function at all because I like cold smoking it. This isn't going to be true cold smoking because that oven temp is going to increase consistently throughout the cook. It's already at 108. In the winters, I found when it's like 0 degrees to 5 degrees out, you can cold smoke, and the temperature will just kind of keep everything around that, 90 to 110, so it won't really cook things too much. But the problem is that it is pretty hot out today. We got I think it's gonna be like something like 23, 24 degrees, so that oven temp is slowly gonna just increase just by the nature of the briquette smoking. So at the end of the day, not a big deal. It won't be true cold smoking. It'll be kind of a semi cold smoke, but it shouldn't get high enough that it like overcooks or anything like that there. My hope is that the oven temp, the highest that it gets is around that maybe like 140 mark. Even if it gets up to 150, I don't think I'll have too much to worry about there. And we'll aim for having it in there for about 4 hours is what I've typically done. If the temp starts to get high, I can always temp the fish and pull it out a little faster too. Now let's take a look and see what we got. We definitely got smoke coming out up the top, so we should be in good shape here. Oh yeah, lots of good smoke in action. Now the Chinook are the thicker fillets, so we're going to put those ones on the bottom. I don't think I'm going to cycle these. I don't think I'm going to cycle these at all, just because their temperature shouldn't be a big factor like if you were hot smoking anything. But we'll have those in there. The briquettes. Oh, looks like we had one casualty in the water pit, but we should be good to go. Reset the smoker for that 4-hour mark, and we're all good to go. So we'll just let her fly and see how she goes. Alright, let's check on it and see how we're doing here. Alright, so we got about an hour and a half left. The internal temperature's climbed up. Not too high though, only 117, so that's great. It's not going to overdo it. Let's see how everything's looking so far. Yeah, we're getting a little bit of cooking on it, but not too bad. Looking pretty nice if I do say so myself. Alright guys, so smoker's all good to go here, so we're going to crack her open and see what she looks like. Alright, looking pretty good. A little bit of cook action on there, but not too bad. Let's take a look here. Got the Coho on top. There we go. And then our Chinook right here. So yeah, a little bit of heat action on there, but not bad. I think the final temp of the smoker ended up being about 117 or so, so it never actually got that hot. So there'll be a little good cooking to it, but we'll let that cool off there, and then we'll start working on it. Beautiful. Alright guys, so we got our setup here. We got our Coho salmon here, all nice and smoked up. We got our Chinook right over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the first little bit of Coho here. And this is why the skin is super useful for this, because it's not edible after it's been smoked. It's all hard and kind of crappy, but if you flip this just upside down, the skin is just going to peel off so easily there, and you get essentially damn near everything off of there. So that's just beautiful. We'll do the same thing with the main piece here. We're going to give that a little peel off. They're upside down, and just grab our little edge and peel that just right off. There's always a little bit left on the skin. If you scrape that off, it's super rich and fatty, really tasty, probably super healthy with all the omega-3s that be in that there. But that is just the key right here. Then, I want to get the good look at it up top. There we go. Oh, and it's just, the texture of this is just really nice. A little bit of cooking, but nothing too serious. That is just looking fantastic. If you want to get another little look at it over here, a little bit closer. There we go. And now, just to try out a little taste here. So there we go. So we got just a little bit there, just still a little raw in the middle, but just like a little bit of heat to it. We got it all ready to go. Oh, unbelievably good texture, really good on the smoke. Like, it was actually only in the smoker about 3 hours. That was enough time because there's plenty of smokiness in that there. Not too salty, which is really nice. And just not dry at all. Like, you can even just see there's so much moisture in that. Like, it is just perfect. So we're gonna put a little bit in this in the jar, take it over to the grandparents. My little hunting buddy over there is gonna have some grandparent time, so they're gonna be watching after him, but definitely gonna be bringing him over a little bit of smoked salmon as a bit of a thank you. So thanks for taking along for the process, guys. Super simple recipe. I'm doing all this stuff pretty new. I've done this recipe a few times and it's turned out really good. If there's any recommendations or anything like that, you guys leave a comment, like, subscribe. We're starting to gain a bit of traction on the channel here, but thanks for taking along, guys. It's a lot of fun.